Welcome to the Hauler Escape and Evasion video. In this video I'm going to first teach you the Cloak plus Micro Warp Drive escape trick. This is where you use a Cloak and a Micro Warp Drive in combination on a hauler or really any ship to escape quickly. To do this trick you have to first align, Cloak, then Micro Warp Drive. Now what you do is you wait until your Micro Warp Drive cycle has finished. Right when it finishes, push F1. The moment it finishes, F1 and spam warp. It doesn't work perfectly in this ship, but it pretty much does it. Now what that does is it makes it so you warp almost instantly when you come out of Cloak. Here's it in slow-mo. Align, click, Cloak, Micro Warp Drive. And you see that you're uncloaked for just a split second. Almost nothing in the game can lock you that fast. And on most ships you do this on most of the really big ships that you can get away with this on, you can do this in such a way that they have no chance of catching you. So now what if you jump into a gate camp with the Saber? With the Saber, obviously, the Micro Warp Drive cloak trick's not going to work. I'm in a bubble. Can't do anything about it. I actually happen to have about 700 million ISK in my cargo hold when this happened. So what I do is I approach Cloak Micro Warp Drive. I'm reapproaching the gate. So I'm gate crashing. These guys, I get really lucky here. I'd say probably 9 times out of 10 they would have uncloaked me. Now, would I have made it back to the gate? I'm not so sure. The fact that they have a rapier there that could dual web me on top of all the other tacklets on the field means it'd be very difficult for me to make it to the gate before they were able to break my tank. This hauler, it's a deep space hauler. It's got a reasonable tank, but it certainly can't tank all of this. I really just get lucky. These guys are searching away from the gate. They thought I was going to try to cloak and move out of the bubble, which is another strategy, and you got to just look at the situation and see if you think that's the best strategy for you. But for me, I thought, what the heck, let's just go right back to the gate. That's probably my best bet. And if I do get uncloaked, you see I'm sitting right there ready to hit that Micro Warp Drive, because in the second or 2 or 3 or whatever it's going to take for that rapier and everything else to lock me, I want to get as much speed as I can out of that Micro Warp Drive towards that gate, because once I get within 2500 I am safe. So when you're in a hauler, you have a couple options for escape. You can do either of these tricks, or the Tech 2 haulers now can use the medium Micro Jump Drive. That allows you to shoot 100Ks in whatever direction you're pointing, but it has a spool up time. So you're going to get some tackles on you while you're spooling up. You see how close that guy came? There he goes. So he just uncloaked me. And I was at 4K, so you saw I quickly shift-clicked my Micro Warp Drive to prime it to be overloaded, then clicked it, regular click to overload it. Just in case some of them weren't aggroed, I really fast warp off to something, anything. I happen to warp to Planet 3 at range, I think, and just warp really fast. This guy that comes in sees me, and they warp in and try to find me, but what I do when I land is I land, and then I Micro Warp Drive off at an angle and cloak. So I'm not along this line of warp. I'm going to move off to the side so that if they do come in, they won't be able to catch me. And then they come and they look for me for a while, but I was able to escape. Kept my 700 million ISK in loot that I had in my hold. This actually wasn't loot, it was some other stuff, but I was able to preserve my stuff and escape safely. And hopefully these tips will allow you to fly your hauler a little bit more safely as well.